bus stop for the kids is just outside our house, which is super nice, right? You can just walk out there. You don't even have to be ready for the day, right? Like just take them out. But yeah, you go out there. And so we go out there. I remember this day that I hadn't worked out yet. I had wanted to do some push-ups. And so I was like, well, we're waiting here. And sometimes the bus is like so late. It's kind of crazy. It's like, what was it? Like most of the time it's like 5 to 10 minutes late, you know? Anyway, so we were just sitting there waiting most of the time. So I was like, well, I may as well do something. And so I was like, well, let's do some push-ups, right? So I tell them, hey guys, I'm gonna do some push-ups, all right? You guys ready? I'm like, okay. I'm like, how many should I do? I'm like 10 or 20? I'm like 100, do 100. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it, you know? And so I get down and I'm like doing the push-ups, right? I'm taking breaks because doing 100 in a row, at least for me, isn't totally possible right now, maybe one day. But so I'm there doing that, doing push-ups. And then it's so fun to see everyone like chanting like, oh, come on, you can do it, you can do it, do it. And then, you know, some of my kids are down doing push-ups and you gotta love their form, you know? It's like they have their arms stretched out and they're basically just like moving their body down, but like not their arms at all. It's just hilarious. I'm just like, oh man, that's funny. But anyways, it's cool though, because they start like counting for me. They're like, okay, yeah, 50, okay, 51, 52. And they're all excited and just going. And you know, it's keeping me going. Like I'm like continuing to push forward because I've got this squad of people around me cheering me on and give me some motivation and stuff like that. And, you know, I finally, you know, get down to the end, and you know, it's a little bit hard, but I'd make it through, right? I get to 100 and everyone's excited. And you know, and so the reason I share that is I just wanted to point out a couple things, like the power of doing, of like challenging yourself, right? Challenging yourself. One really cool thing about that is, you know, like with my kids, is like it allowed them to cheer for me, right? Not only did I, you know, do the challenge, like I challenged myself, but I told them about it too, right? And so that's one thing that, you know, when you're doing things that maybe you're a little bit like worried about doing, or it's kind of scary, and so you're not totally sure about doing it, but there's a real power when you actually commit to do something and then you go and tell people about it, right? When you challenge yourself and then they look and like people want to help, like people want to help you. And sometimes we just don't tell them, right? Sometimes we don't tell them, oh, hey, I'm doing this thing, right? You should help me out or whatever. And you don't even have to ask sometimes, right? Sometimes just tell people about what you're doing and then they get behind it. The other thing though too, is that when you tell people about it, you know, you make a declaration. A lot of times people call it in like the NLP or like the kind of personal development world. But when you tell people, hey, I'm going to do this thing, then it actually reinforces in your brain that you're doing that thing. And so that's just another reason, you know, that challenging yourself can be really, really powerful, you know, and I encourage you to do it. And, you know, and for me, I love challenging myself. I love also doing challenges to help people in that way as well. And, you know, because of that, right? People are naturally drawn into doing some sort of challenge of, you know, it's something that is uncomfortable a lot of times, but it also allows you to really grow, you know. And if you haven't noticed, you know, when we go through hard things, it's a lot of times when we actually grow the most, right? So getting outside your comfort zone is when you grow. You know, I remember when I first created, you know, videos online, that it was not natural at all for me. Like it was just like, oh, I would record like 20 times because I just was like, oh, I messed up. Oh, I messed up. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. And, you know, and things like that. And still, I don't know what I'm doing a lot of times, you know, but no, but just that, like, when you do that, you try and you keep going, that it allows you to, you know, to really see that success, and to get more comfortable with it, because at first it's really uncomfortable. But then as you do it and as you push yourself outside of that, your comfort zone kind of expands. And so anyways, I just think that's really cool. And so that's one huge benefit for really going outside your comfort zone, for challenging yourself, because of that. And so, you know, next time you have something that comes up and you're like, oh man, I'm like walking on ice in St. George. Whew, in St. George, walking on ice, that's like, it's kind of crazy, right? You know, but that's the thing, is just the next time something comes up and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that, like, think of it as a challenge, right? Think of it as something that is challenging you, because when you do that, then you'll be able to expand and go outside of that comfort zone. And then it's no longer as big of a deal, right? And kind of back to like the video thing, I feel like in the past, it was a lot harder to make videos, right? And I didn't know exactly what to say or how to do things or whatever. But then as you do it more and you get outside that comfort zone, then it just becomes comfortable, and it's something that, okay, cool. Yeah, I can do that. I mean, that's easy, right? So I just encourage you to challenge yourself, right? Challenge yourself. And when something comes up, try to change that mindset about, you know, how you look at it. Because if you look at it like, oh, this sucks, like I don't want to have to do that or whatever, then it's probably going to suck and you're probably not really going to want to do it the whole time you're doing it. However, if you take a look at it and say, wait, this is a challenge. Dustin told me that, you know, I should take on challenges and things. But, you know, if you change that mindset of how you look at it and say, you know, I'm grateful for this thing because it'll allow me to grow in this way, right? And you go and do that, then you're so much more likely to be successful in that way, right? And so that's my message to you, is just to really take it on, you know, take on the challenge, and also let other people know too, because other people will help you. They're naturally inclined to be able to help. If you're feeling down, let them know, right? I mean, you tell them about this goal that you're doing or something that you're working on, and then how you're struggling about it. Like, there's going to be people there to help you. Maybe they can literally help you accomplish the thing you need. Maybe they put you in connection with someone else, or maybe they just simply give you that motivation to help to keep going, right? And so do it, go challenge yourself, because the world needs it. We got to challenge ourselves more. And I really think that all of us should be, you know, trying to make an impact. And so that's my goal for you, is to go and make an impact today. So I will let you go do that and let me know how it goes, and I'll talk to you later. See ya.